You've been told to just manage your symptoms. But what if your problem is hiding below the surface? Welcome to Root Cause Wellness.
Have you ever been there? It's late at night, you can't sleep, and you're just so incredibly frustrated by that recurring irritation, another infection, or maybe another UTI. If that sounds familiar, then you are in exactly the right place. We're about to uncover the hidden reason behind these problems, the one that doctors so often miss, and it all boils down to one simple, maddening question.
Right? This is the one. Why does it keep coming back? It's enough to drive you crazy. You go through the whole routine, you deal with the symptoms, you get the prescription, you use the cream or take the antibiotic, and relief. For a week, maybe two. And then, there it is again. I want you to know this is not your fault. And you are definitely not alone. The reason it keeps returning is that the usual treatment is just a Band-Aid, and it never touches the real problem underneath. I mean, look at this cycle. I bet it seems pretty familiar. It starts with that awful irritation or a full-blown infection. So you go to the doctor, get the fix, an antibiotic or cream, and you get that sweet, temporary relief. But because the root cause was never addressed, the symptoms just come right back, and you're stuck in the loop all over again. So why does this keep happening? Well, it usually starts with a really pervasive and frankly damaging myth.
Yeah. We're told, pretty much from day one, that these kinds of issues are a hygiene problem. The message we get from everywhere, from ads, from society, is that if we could just keep things cleaner down there, the problem would just disappear. And of course, a whole industry has sprung up to sell us this idea. And what do? We buy the products. We buy the special intimate washes, the super convenient feminine wipes, those scented gels, all the lubricants, everything that promises us freshness and, cleanliness. We use them like we're supposed to, thinking we're doing the absolute best thing for our health. We are trying so hard to solve the problem.
But here's where we need to pause. What if everything we've been told is completely backwards? What if the very things we're using to cure ourselves are the actual cause of the problem? I know it sounds crazy, but the science on this is crystal clear.
Okay, so here it is, the shocking truth. The chemicals, the perfumes, all the harsh ingredients in these so-called hygiene products, they're waging an all-out war on your body's own natural defense system. So instead of helping you stay clean, they're actually stripping away your protection, leaving you wide open and vulnerable. So what am I talking about when I say defenses? Well, it's something called the vaginal microbiome. Now, don't let the sciencey term throw you off. The easiest way to picture it is as a powerful, invisible army of good bacteria. They live there, and their one and only job is to be your bodyguard, your first line of defense against all the bad guys, like the pathogens that cause infections. So, when you use those chemical washes, you're not just getting clean. You are effectively wiping out your protective army. You're throwing open the gates and inviting the invaders in. And that, right there, is what massively increases your risk for everything you're trying to prevent: recurring BV and yeast infections, endless UTIs, and even scarier things like pelvic inflammatory disease and HPV.
Now, every great army needs a hero, right? A main champion. Well, in the vaginal microbiome, that hero is a type of bacteria called Lactobacillus. This little microbe is the absolute key to your vaginal health, and the way it protects you is pretty amazing.
Let's break down exactly how it works. When everything is healthy and in balance, your lactobacillus are thriving. They produce something called lactic acid, which makes the whole environment slightly acidic. That acidity is your protective force field. It literally blocks pathogens. But then, you introduce those chemical products. They kill off the good lactobacillus. Without them, the pH rises and the environment becomes alkaline, and just like that, the force field collapses. That's the moment the bad guys can invade and cause all that redness, irritation, and infection.
Okay, so what's the real solution? It's actually really simple, because it tackles the problem at its source. Step 1 is to stop. Seriously, just stop. Throw out all the chemical intimate washes, the wipes, the scented gels. Your body knows what it's doing. And step 2 is to rebuild. You can use a targeted oral probiotic that's specifically designed to support vaginal health. This helps bring back your lactobacillus army and rebuilds that protective barrier from the inside. So really, this is all about a huge mindset shift. The goal was never to sterilize the outside. We now know that just makes things worse. The real goal is to nourish and support the delicate ecosystem on the inside. Because when you support your microbiome, it will protect you.
Finally, understanding what's really going on is so empowering, isn't it? So I want to end by asking you, have you already made this change? Have you ditched the chemical products and worked on restoring your microbiome? If you have, please share your story in the comments below. Your experience might be the one thing that helps someone else finally break free from that frustrating cycle. Thanks for being here, and make sure to subscribe so we can keep uncovering the root causes of our health together.
Remember, true health is about getting to the underlying root cause, not just managing your symptoms with a label and a pill.